Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and all else, to Midnight Delight, the only talk show on the net. Producer Jackie Joy here, just reminding everyone that Midnight Delight is an adult-oriented podcast, and as such, viewer discretion is highly advised. Well.
Well,
Oh my god. Welcome to Midnight Delight, the only talk show on the net, hosted by a faggot.
I'm pretty sure about 80% of shows are hosted by that.
But it's the only talk show that's hosted by a faggot. And you can't
What was that?
You can't prove
What's that? About 6 seconds? Oh fuck! We're fucking up already. No.
It's fine.
All right. So what's that? About 6 seconds before we hit slurs. This is going to be a good time.
Exactly. It's going to be an amazing time, ladies, gentlemen,
right,
and everyone else currently in the audience. My name, as always, and as hopefully will always be, Miss Jackie Joy, the Miss short for mystery. Joined today by voices in your headphones. Voices, if you will be so kind as to give your introduction.
Hello. I'm entirely unprepared because I didn't realize we'd be doing this live. Basic introduction. Jack's usually my co-host, but I'm apparently getting the script flipped, and now I'm theirs. They usually help me on my channel, Voices in Your Headphones. So
I pulled that Uno reverse card.
Well, second time ever doing anything live, so I'm probably gonna fuck this up real good. But how about we talk about what we're going to be discussing today?
So, as this is the first real episode of this podcast thingy, I thought, why not start with what I started for my first ever podcast, which is something that I love talking about because it's simply a frankly horrifying topic. And every single person who I talk to with this seems utterly disturbed by everything I keep saying. I used to be a waitress back in my former life. And back then, I worked at this lovely little place that I and my friends and loved ones have started to dub Hell Hotel. Hell Hotel is a lovely little hotel and restaurant chain with about 16 or 13 locations in America. Not America, in Germany. God, I'm saying, God, I wish it was in America right now. It's a small chain, really. It used to be helmed by a very big beer giant before it was sold off to some British fuckers. And after being sold to some British fuckers, it really went down the drain real bad. Think of every single crime that could be committed by a human being. Hell Hotel has had it. Every single crime.
Yeah, you've told me a bit of the stories on my little show, and the most distinct one I remember was the murder that happened, and somehow I feel like that's not the worst one we're going to be discussing.
No. As said, the last time I talked to this lovely little audience back on your channel was an appetizer, just the little cherry on top of this horror sundae. And tonight we are digging in real deep, which means that we are going to talk about a lesser version of all of the horror stories, but something that still deserves at least some attention, entirely because it is fucking weird.
So how many people died in these stories before we even start?
Oh boy, that's a good question.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh boy. Well, thankfully, I have... Murder is sadly a very easy topic when you talk about Hell Hotel, so I kind of decided, okay, I'm not going to talk about any deaths. Mostly because Hell Hotel is a 4-star hotel, which doesn't really mean anything nowadays, but it used to mean something. And for the most part, it was still rich people that came over to us. And as most people who work a long time with rich people will tell you, if it wasn't for the fact that rich people keep planning about killing each other, they would be all killing each other. Rich people are fucking insane. They're not okay. And the more you bring them together, the more they will try to murder each other until they just pick up the tire iron and do it already.
This episode of Midnight Delight brought to you by the Kill the Rich Association.
Exactly. To be fair, the Kill the Rich Association, it's mostly just rich people. The only reason why Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates have not killed each other thus far is because they keep planning on making sure that it's mutually assured destruction. They're going to nuke each other the second one of them assassinates the other. It's going to be game over for all of us. Oh god, this is starting off lovely. But let's get back on topic before we go a little too crazy here. I want to start this lovely show by talking about one of the lovely aspects of just working customer service, which is you meet fucking weirdos, man. You meet some fucking lunatics. Yes, it is gay over for all of us. It is going to be gay over.
We're going to shout out the little Twitch stream because we're going to try to get some audience engagement going on with this, even though most of it's going to be us just rambling. We want to talk to people, you know.
Exactly. This entire show is hoped and predicated upon the fact that hopefully someday I'll have some audience to talk to about their weird shit. But for now, it's just my weird shit. And my weird shit is extremely weird. For example, the customers you get as a bartender at 1 a.m. will be the biggest grab bag of humanity that you will ever have the delight to meet. Mostly because...
sorry.
No, it's fine. You first.
I was going to ask, should we just preface this with the fact that our little Hell Hotel is located in, I believe, Germany? We're not going to, right?
Yeah, we're not going to give any more information than that.
Yeah, we're not going to be saying any more besides the country, but just if you just say, because international politics and insanity just goes together so well.
Absolutely. Because Hell Hotel was a seminar hotel, and as such, we got a lot of folks internationally from all over the world just going absolutely fucking bonkers. If I had to rank which people from which countries would be the craziest, I'd have to, and this is going to be funny, we have to start Spanish first, America on a very close second, the British again, because Londoners are just thankfully a little bit less weird. Then we got Ireland, and then Australia on like 7th place, and then everyone
I'm
else.
Surprised. Spain is the high one.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that. You'd think that America would be the capital of craziness, but no. Apparently, something about high heat and the love for football just fries the Spanish brain. It's amazing.
I mean, I've talked to 2 people from Portugal on the regular, and they've told me Portuguese people are fucking mad, but I've never heard much about Spain.
I can just tell you what I've experienced back when I was working in Hell Hotel, and Spaniards are fucking weird.
Well, let's get on with it.
Yeah, football fries the brain on its own, yes. Oh my god. The people you will meet at 1 in the morning as a bartender are weird. Really, they are. They will walk up to you and they will ask you for the weirdest fucking drinks. And you will go, what the fuck? Who orders this shit at 1 in the morning? Who orders a martini, but substituted with, if I remember correctly, it was this one dill liqueur that we had. And then mixed together with some ramazzotti crema, which you got dill liqueur as one half, and then you got some milky cream as another half. First off, that's not a martini anymore. Second off, what type of flavor crimes are you committing here, sir? What are you doing here with your life? Drinking this weird shit at 1 in the morning.
And I thought me mixing rum and gin was weird.
Nah, rum and gin is child's play compared to the people that come to you at the bar at 1 a.m. to drink just the weirdest shit. Like
they're not drinking for fun. They're drinking to forget at that point.
They're honestly, yeah, most likely. And frankly, with the shit they're drinking, I would also want to forget. Because by God, they didn't have good taste. That's for damn sure.
So it's as much as fun as it is to make fun of people's drinks of choice, which, by the way, the best drink, rum and orange juice. Fight me about it. Second off, we should probably be more focusing on the people and their oddities, I suppose, what they drink. So
yes, fair. I'm sorry. Reminding me of the Spaniards just reminded me of this one Spanish man who walked into the bar, just wearing a tattered and ripped up Spanish tee, short shorts that were dyed pink, like visibly. They were dyed pink like the day before, with one leg shaven, but the other leg still hairy, wearing cracked sunglasses and ordering that martini.
Man, you have a guy that walks into your bar who's an obvious victim of a mugging and a shaving. He probably didn't ask for this. And you're judging him for his drink.
I am judging him for his drink because he walked in here very clearly not well, and then he orders this shit. Like, I am sorry, sir, but would you not like a Band-Aid? Would you not like the police? Like, you're handing me very tattered looking €5 bills. You're very clearly looking like you just had a bar fight. And you're asking for humanity's worst drink, dude. Are you okay?
Fuck. So I'm trying to think of a good first story, because I know you told it on my little show, but since this is yours one, we might need to repeat one.
Yeah, most likely.
I think a good primer would be the man that I am fully convinced is an alien.
Oh yes, please. Please. God, I have to retell the story now. Okay, cool. So I'll give you the door. I'll give you the door. Well, not the door, but the. Go ahead. Tell us about the person who was an alien, because by God, I also think I have to retell the story of my alien. Because
no, I was referring to your story. I don't have anything as bizarre as this night that you experienced.
Okay, cool. In that case, amazing. Okay. So I believe it was around 2019. If I remember correctly. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've told these stories, so my memory is a little bit jumbled up. But in walks this man on a late 2019 night, and he looks He looks like David Byrne, wearing this oversized suit. You know the one?
Yes.
He comes in, walks in like this, very obviously wearing a suit that was made for a man twice his size, while looking like a human skeleton with skin just kind of draped over him. He comes in, sits down next to his colleague who is drinking like just a beer, if I remember correctly. They start chatting and also start asking for more extravagant and expensive cocktails. And I just keep eyeing them because the more I look at this man, the more it just appears to be as if Sans stole somebody's skin and was just kind of making sure that his skin was staying on. He kept rubbing his arms, like kept patting himself down, just making sure that everything was sitting correctly.
He's making sure his human disguise is still on, fit.
Yes, exactly. Like, oh shit, is everything there? Shit, my hips. Oh god, okay, thank fuck, my hips are staying there. Okay, cool. So, after like 2 hours of that, they finally say, okay, we're leaving. I go, okay, who's going to pay for this? And the skeleton man grabs into his suit, which takes him like a solid 5 minutes because there is more suit than man. And he pulls out his credit card. I look at it, just making sure, because we had to look at credit cards. We had to make sure that like it isn't like a fake one, because apparently like fraud was happening back then. I don't remember the full details. I just remember we were drilled to look at credit cards like crazy. So I look at it, and I see this name, and I'm like 5 seconds away from telling this man to fuck off and give me his real credit card, because his name is Chad Warden Dinkelstein. And I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. This isn't a real name. You can't.
I like how you, the Jewish person here, looked at the most Jewish name in existence.
Oh god, you're cutting out, buddy. But I'm sorry, but that combination of words is not real. That's literally somebody trying to fake being Jewish. That's somebody trying to fake being Jewish to a Jewish person. I'm sorry, but I ain't gonna buy this shit. But I'm like, okay, this is just like a crazy American person again. This is like a rich person. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm going to put this into the credit card reader, and I'm just going to try and enjoy my day, because I am so tired, man. I am so done with this shit. I don't want to work here anymore. So I get the credit card reader, and the funny thing about our credit card reader is that it's extremely shite. It wasn't working very well. It needed to be slapped constantly. It froze up if a credit if like a credit card had too much money on it. It was shitty. It was the cream de la crop of assness. So I put the credit card into the credit card reader, and it just completely locked up. Just froze completely. Which meant that this man packed serious dosh. Like an incredibly insane amount of cash. So I sweat bullets now, because now I have to deal with this customer who is starting to get very impatient as my credit card reader is freezing up from him being too much of a highballer for this place.
I still question the mechanics behind that. Just his bank account is too powerful for your machines. I don't understand how this happens.
I didn't get it either. I just remember our IT team one day was like, oh yeah, our credit card reader is shit, we replaced it with something better. It froze up when something was like, a bank account had too much money in it. And I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to work. That's like not how it's supposed to work at all. How did this happen? So I slap it like multiple times, and thankfully, as all things with technology, giving it a good slap works. So it goes through. He gives me like $20 tip, which was converted like 15 euros, if I remember correctly. And I tried to go about my day, kind of just forgetting about this very fake person. So I go about my day, just kind of not doing anything because it's a slow day, like 10 people tops. It's boring.
The worst kind of days. I know those.
Honestly, I preferred those types of days because of just how mismatched our place was. Because then I could actually just chill, look at my phone, kind of forget that I even worked there, just dissociate as this dysphoria took hold of me. And then it's dinner time. It's like 7 p.m. And my colleague is there now. I'm kind of having a blast now that I talk to a human being, kind of distracting myself from everything, actually doing shit. I should have written down those funny numbers on that card, but sadly, that is not how I stole money from that place. I stole money in way different ways, which I will not reveal here because I don't want to get in legal trouble. Rest assured, I took some shit from that place. But yeah, I really just bored. The chat wouldn't appear. And he's just like looking visibly annoyed, has an iPad in one of his hands, has the newspaper tucked into his elbow in the other. Just very much not really paying attention to any human being at all.
I mean, it's hard for an alien to pay attention to humans.
Yes, I suppose it is. So he sits down at and I do mean like just a corner. It's the shittiest place at our little restaurant. It was literally just like this corner. They placed a table and a seat. Not even like 2 seats, just one. So I am not going to reveal how I stole money from my workplace chat. I am sorry. Well, okay, maybe I will if you ask me nicely enough. Like later. But right now, we're talking about this fucking alien man. So, this alien man sits down at just the most hidden away corner and just snips his fingers and just calls for water. I bring him water, and then he's just like nods and says, "Do not talk to me tonight at all." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I leave him to be, but I'm still bored because nothing's happening. We have one person there. He just got a big bottle of water, and I'm bored out of my fucking mind. I don't know what to do. I did everything around. I'm basically just waiting for my shift to end in 2 hours. So I do what I usually do when I'm bored. And I just watch as this person just goes around at our dinner buffet. Because usually if we have like 2 little people, we would have a 3-course menu. But because it was all just these rich, I think it was Mercedes or some other car brand, they just asked for a buffet dinner, which was like, sure, if you want the objectively shittier dinner, have at it. It's cheaper for us. We don't care. So he walks through the dinner buffet with his big plate. And I watch him just go up to the chicken, which is covered in wine sauce. I'm like, okay, sure. Good selection. It's bacon wrapped chicken. It's delicious. Let's see what he wants. And then he goes over to the salad bar, dumps a bunch of salad on it. And then he goes to the dessert menu. And then, chat, I see this fucking alien being pour chocolate sauce on top of some iceberg lettuce.
I weirdly enough, I can kind of get down with this. I know where this story's going to go. I can't get down with it after a certain point, but up to this point, I think I can still kind of vibe with it.
Yes, at this point, I'm like, okay, weird, but this might be delicious. I might have to try this. So I watch him more, and he goes back to the salad bar and just puts on slices of cucumbers on top of that, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, cucumbers are mostly tasteless and basically are just 70% water. Maybe this is good. Maybe. Oh god, he's going back to the desert menu. Oh no, please. No. No. And this man just walks to the desert aisle again and pours vanilla sauce on top of all of this.
Not just the lettuce, the chicken as well, all right?
No, you see, the lettuce covers.
The chicken remains untouched?
No, the chicken was on top of a pile of iceberg lettuce. That iceberg lettuce got topped with chocolate cream. He then went and put fucking cucumber slices on top of that pile. And then he poured vanilla sauce on top of this pile. The pile was growing. The pile was ever expanding. I saw this layer cake of disappointment being built, and I saw that this man was not human, because I don't think a human could create this abomination. This is horrors beyond human comprehension, and they are not man-made. So at this point, I'm like transfixed in this titanic, this apocalyptic display of disgusting behavior. And then he goes back to the salad bar and pours more iceberg lettuce on top of this pile. And I'm like, sir, look at your plate. This is getting too big. And at this point, my colleague notices and asks, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, hey, watch this. Watch this person. Like, look at this shit. And she's like, wait, what is he doing? Like, did he pour vanilla sauce on top of cucumbers? And I'm like, oh god, you don't even know. So he walks back to where he got the chicken from and just pours more wine sauce on top of that lettuce.
Fun. Yes, this is Hell Hotel.
This is Hell Hotel. Yes, this is Chad von Dinkelstein. You know the story, my dear. You know the story. And you know how it ends, because he pours that fucking wine sauce on top of this monstrosity. Sees that his work is done. Smiles, which I can only remember as hauntingly because of just the way he grinned like you'd imagine a predator smiles when he knows that he's gonna get his little antelope when the lion is going to eat some gazelle. And he goes and he gets some potato bites, like some hash browns, I think you'd call it in America. Like little potato bites.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the context. Sometimes hash brown, sometimes tater tots. Depends on really how you cook them.
They like little round potato bits, basically.
Fuck. Yeah, we could call those hash browns, like the small ones.
Yeah. So he gets those small hash browns, sits down to his little corner, and I want to see if he eats now. I want to see if he commits. Because
you just want to make sure this man's not fucking with you.
I want to make sure that this man is not fucking with me. Because I don't want to be the fool here. I don't want to be the fool when I'm telling the story to somebody is being played by this man. So I walk up to him in the guise of seeing that he has enough liquid. Under the guise of, hey, do you want a beer? Do you want to get drunk? So I woke up, and to my shock and horror, I see that he has taken a bite out of every single layer.
I'm just like trying to put together like the taste here, because you got the savory with the chicken and the bacon. That's good, and then you can pair that with the lettuce. But then I guess again with the chocolate, that's fine. But then everything else, I'm just lost in what it even might taste like. I don't want to imagine the texture of this.
I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it because it is disgusting, frankly. I have thought about how it tastes for the next 2 years after this incident because I wanted to know what went on inside this man's head. And the only answer I can find to what went on in that man's mind was that he wanted the world to burn. That he was there to see the faults in humanity's safety systems, to see it was the whole chicken breast wrapped around in bacon and cooked in wine sauce, which frankly it was delicious.
On its own.
On its own, it was amazing. I ate it. I stole so much food from my old workplace, but combine all of those pieces together, and I wanted to puke then and there on the spot. He then asks me very annoyingly what I'm doing there, and I'm just like stumbling, trying to recover, trying to go. I'm here to make sure that everything's okay. Would you like another drink, sir? And he's like, no. I would like you to leave, please. I would like you to piss off, go and leave me to my meal.
Meal is a bit of a stretch word here.
Yeah, meal is putting in a lot of legwork here because, frankly, that was an abomination. And frankly, if there's one good explanation for what is going on in our modern day world, I think that aliens pulling the strings might honestly not be so far-fetched after seeing this man. Like, I know most conspiracy theories end with, oh, it's the Jews, but no, I think the world is
Jewish aliens.
It's the Jewish aliens, baby. The aliens are controlling everything, and they have such weird tastes. Good God.
Fuck. Was there anything more notable about this guy besides his abomination meal and being too rich for your money counter to comprehend?
That's the thing. After that day, I didn't see him anymore. His colleague was there, and he drank his ass off. He ordered a record of mojitos that was not beaten until like the last year at my job, which was 69, funnily enough. I wish I was shitting you, but alas, he drank a lot of mojitos. He also had to keep going to the toilet because, well, he drank 69 mojitos. That's a lot.
This man was committing tactical suicide after meeting his alien overlords.
Yeah, that's the only explanation I can find for that one because, my God, I didn't see this man after that dinner at all. And I looked because our old workplace really had, frankly, shitty information security. Because we had a little table for every single breakfast, for every single person that would appear next day at breakfast, so that we could like plan accordingly to make sure that there's enough seats for that many people to have breakfast in our halls, which didn't even work particularly well because we were a hotel restaurant that served around 100 to 200 people a day at like max capacity. and we had 50 seats at most, with a lot of squeezing. You can just imagine how many people stood as they waited for breakfast at our place. It's frankly amazing. Well, not amazing for them or
I was
me.
gonna say, doesn't sound amazing. Sounds more inconvenient on your end.
It was incredibly inconvenient to the point where our breakfast staff continually quit back when I was still working there because, well, we were overworked to hell and back. Fucking nobody wanted to take the breakfast shift because, frankly, the breakfast shift was shit. It was annoying. You had to deal with the dregs of humanity after being hungover the previous night. They were not pleasant to deal with. They were very entitled. And somehow, they always forget how a buffet breakfast worked. Like, oh God, please, would you be so kind as to bring me coffee? And I'm like, sir, coffee is right in front of your face, on the table, in that big jug of yours. You just have to move your arm and pour it into your cup.
Good Lord, this gives me like flashbacks to my job that I have to deal with shit. I'll tell you in a minute.
It's fine. I'm done with Chad Warden. Chad Warden's story is done.
Well,
no. Let me rephrase that. Chad Warden is still out there somewhere in the world, and he
somewhere
could be
in the stars.
No, I bet you Chad Warden is still on Earth, and he's doing something. He's planning something, and any day now, Chad Warden is going to have the last laugh, and he's going to think about this little fucking idiot of a waitress he met back in 2019. And he's going to be like, oh God, was it funny to scare a human again before our master plan, before our little Deus Ex world domination plan came to fruition?
His finger's just hovering over the button and he gets a sudden memory.
Exactly.
Okay,
God.
so because you were talking about the coffee thing, that can let me transition into my little short story I have. It's not really more of a story; it's more of an anecdote. But first off, because you mentioned the coffee, people just can't figure out, just lift the cup, pour it in. It's easy as that. So, for your audience that doesn't know, I work in sports gambling. I supervise a sports book, is what they're called. Pretty much my job is to make sure the money's going where it's supposed to. The people making the tickets don't fuck up. I always describe my job as I'm sitting there, honestly, on my laptop just typing out fanfic. That's what I've been doing for the last 4 days. And unless something breaks, then I'm putting out fires that nobody but I can see. That's how I describe my job. And one of the most common things is we've got little self-bet kiosks. People, instead of having to come up to our window and tell us what you want, people just walk up, put money in the machine, type out their bets, hit print, and they're done. That's makes my job a lot easier. But often the most common question is people come up to me, it's like, hey, the machine's not working. There's like, and I usually ask them, it's like, all right, it's like, did you put your team in? It's like, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I got my team. It's like, I put this much money on it. It's like, all right. Did you put money in the machine? And they almost always say no.
Oh my God. Oh God,
so,
no.
That's one of my usual things I have to deal with is people that don't understand if you want to buy things, you need money.
You need currency to place bets at a betting place. Damn.
Sometimes people can't figure this kind of stuff out. Like I said, you're working at Hell Hotel, you have to deal with the dregs of humanity, and that's usually in the mornings. I have to deal with them at night.
Oh God, I can't even imagine what it must be like at a betting place. My God, I'm trying to parse that with my knowledge of just the worst people ever. And God, it's like the best
Honestly
way.
speaking, oh,
Sorry, you
good.
first.
Hang on. I'm reading the wrong fun thing.
Okay.
Oh no, I mean I write fanfic on the job. Literally, I sit there with my laptop. I'm about 7 pages deep into a fucking lobotomy corporation fucking slash gay fanfic because I have nothing else to do unless something breaks.
Damn.
Anyways, yes, that's how I've been fucking spending my last 4 days.
But
But
frankly, what I believe, what's currently now in my head, thanks to you describing it that way, is like just thinking of like Big Brother, but there's like a betting side to it. Now that you're making me think of like the dregs of humanity, because that's how I imagine it must be like working at a betting place. Just people completely and utterly thinking that they're the main character of the universe, and then
my
just
dude, okay, it's not as bad as my last place that I worked at. My last place was fucking awful, but I can't really go into it without kidding. Probably hitting some pretty spicy notes. I'm going to avoid that. Just know I worked in a very urbanized environment just north of a major US city. And a young youth of particular, I'm not going to say anymore. They just think they're going to hit big and they don't. That's the best thing I can say.
dear.
With it's like I've long since come like I've come to terms with the morality of my job and that it's bad. But anyways, so we can discuss that at a later time because they actually genuinely, whenever they teach you how to like deal cards and blackjack, they fucking teach you about the race relations in a casino. That's not a joke. I can teach you the things they taught me.
Oh God, that sounds terrifying.
It's a bit spicy, but I mean, fuck it, I could say right now, it's not like I'm not going to be saying any like racial slurs or making assumptions. But it's just things you observe working in a casino for 20 years, and these things repeat themselves like clockwork.
Oh God, that
Like,
sounds. God, this reminds me of my own shit that I've had to deal with because you see, my place when I worked there had this lovely system of just how do I put this? Essentially, they were like little. It was like homework, but for the job, where you'd log in and you'd do like a bunch of safety training at home because the state was like, hey, you have to, provide safety training, idiot. You have to make sure that they know how to, for example, handle a CO2 canister or alcohol or ladders. God, so many fucking tests all about ladders. It was the most mind-numbing activity, and it always felt like it was just a big Ace Attorney joke where they would just like being like, "Hey, idiot, is this a ladder or a step ladder?" And I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean? It's a fucking ladder. Why do I don't give a shit. I don't work with ladders. I serve drinks. I've never used a ladder in my job in my entire 5 years of working at my old workplace." Which, now that I think about it, is kind of crazy because you'd think I'd at least use them once, but no. I never used a ladder because I was, and still am, 6'2".
I didn't know how tall you were.
I am a big bitch. I'm a thick bitch, I'm a big bitch, and I didn't need a ladder. Some of my colleagues needed a ladder, but I didn't. And frankly, I didn't give a singular shit. And the weirdest fucking little homework that my workplace ever gave me was, how do I put this in a way that's going to portray just how dumb it was. Okay, I think I got away. I think I got away. So imagine if an artificial intelligence that was only given 2014 age Tumblr was made to write homework about race relationships and being nice to international customers and not being racist. How does that sound to you?
I mean, I just had to do forced diversity training at my job, so it sounds about. I can probably expect it.
It was horrible, especially as said, I'm German, but my God, my fucking God, it was just so incredibly bad seeing all of those butchered terms that frankly amounted to fuck all because they didn't even make sense of the context that were used. They were just like, they could have literally just slapped in, hey, idiots, don't be
racist.
Don't be racist. Don't say slurs to black people. Don't be mean to Indian people. Especially don't be mean to Russians. I don't know what our place had against Russians, but for some reason, a few of my coworkers, before they quit, were just very racist against Russians. So our seminar...
I wonder, what does Germany have against Russia?
Yeah.
What in the last 60 years could have happened?
Yeah, I wonder why. Which is funny, because I am half Russian. I'm half Russian. So it was like, hey, can you not be, racist against Russian people? I'm like right here. And they were like, you're not Russian. You speak German. And I'm like, thank you, dude. Thank you. You're very, very reassuring. And I'm so thankful that people like you work in hospitality. You really make me feel welcome. Oh, God.
You know what? I'm actually going to go into it because it's not like I said, it might come off a bit spicy, but it's not like I'm going to be like, hey, Voices says racial slurs on stream. I'm just going to be talking about, because part of, what a casino does is they take people's money.
Yep.
And one of the things you got to do with that is lean into stereotypes and what expectations of people. So one of the things they teach you is, especially when you're learning like how to flip cards and stuff in the casino, is how certain people tick. And for example, some of the small ones is African Americans are very commonly on the craps table. White people, especially old white women, fucking love slot machines. About mid 30s and up, white men typically like the sports book, just stuff like that. Like that's the stuff they teach you.
Yes, basically.
And
no, don't clip that. Bad.
But so one of the things they actually taught me in this class was what I like to call the hierarchy of Asians. And a lot of people don't seem to realize that Asian people are fucking racist against other Asian people. And they taught us what they call the hierarchy, because you have to start being able to identify if you aren't capable of identifying, Asian people. I'm not saying they all look the same. Don't take me out of context on that.
Oh God!
But the latter was it's which ones you have to focus on, because it's also typically the higher up the ladder, the better they pay you and the better they tip. It is Chinese people at the top, Japanese, Taiwanese on the third place, because China doesn't like to talk about that.
Yeah. Which Free Taiwan.
Korean. Well, there goes our Chinese audience. Then Laos, and then the Philippines, because nobody in Asia likes the Philippines for some reason.
That's so weird because I swear everyone hates the Philippines that I think about it. Like
I've heard other Filipino people call Philippines the Mexico of Asia. So,
amazing. Fucking amazing.
mentally, let's see, that was fucking. You said your name earlier. Anyways, nah, mentally, North Korean people don't come to American casinos because they can't afford to get a bike, let alone come gamble.
I don't think Kim Jong Un would be very pleased to find out that some North Koreans would gamble in some American casino. They would basically be like, "Oh God, me, a Christian dad, just found out that my daughter is making out with some Satan worshipping hoe." Like,
Oh God, oh fuck, my a stream I always attend just went live while we're recording our own. Oh God, I gotta choose loyalties.
Oh
Nah,
God,
I'm gonna stick here. But anyways, so the reason I brought up the whole like race relationship thing was because. Sorry, actually, I don't know why I brought that up. That's just a weird thing that taught us in the casino. Okay, so I do have another dumb anecdote from my work. Not actually from my work, because you mentioned some people can be a bit socially unaware, to put it politely. Yeah, inept. Let's just be an asshole.
It's fine. We can be assholes. It's fine.
So some people will just walk up to my counter and just not say a word. And that's just really weird to me because, I at least expect a hi. It's rude first off. You just walk up and say the teams you want to bet on. But then some people will just walk up and just not talk to you. They'll just like hand you a ticket to cash in, and it's annoying. So one day I was just it was actually a dream I had. I distinctly remember. It's that I was at work and some guy just came to my counter and just didn't say anything, just kind of handed me a ticket. And I thought, hey, you know what? Fuck this guy. And then I woke up. So for some reason, that just kind of makes me think of, imagine if you just, like your reality itself crumbled into nothing because you weren't polite to our worker.
Oh my God. You just realizing that your entire existence isn't real entirely because you were not polite to your hospitality worker. That would be
correct.
God, that's a horror story in the making. That's a horror story in the making.
I just love this distinct. My actual distinct thought was, "Hey, fuck this guy. You watch this." Woke up.
Oh my God. Oh. Hey, you want to see a fun magic trick? Oh God, why is this so funny to me? Oh God.
I'm kind of I do a bit of fuckery at work because I get bored and when I've got nothing to do, I mess with people.
Mm-hmm.
And
also Hannah.
Hi Anna. So distinctly I remember it was at my old location. There's a little trick. I don't know if you know this, but if you take like a roll of receipt paper and you like carefully push out the middle, but to where it's all like stilled in one big bundle.
Mm-hmm.
And then like after the little plastic part is taken out, you can grab a slip from the middle of the roll, pull it down, and the weight itself will just keep the tape falling out just nonstop because the gravity, like the weight's pulling it down, so it just unravels from the inside, and it takes a fucking long time to stop just because it unravels the entire roll, which is like 200 feet worth of paper. So on my last day before I got my promotion and transferred to somewhere else, mm-hmm. I snuck the plastic piece out of a roller, and I walked up to the manager, the GM of the building, and like head honcho. He was just hanging out because he wanted to say bye. Everybody else was saying bye. So I was like, "Hey, Brian, here, can you hold this?" He's like, "Sure, why?" Then I slipped my finger in the middle, pulled it down, and I just walked away while the thing unraveling.
Oh God. That's fucking evil, I swear.
This is the shit I do when I get bored.
Fair enough. Oh God. No feet fetishes. Bad.
Oh, this is a foot podcast now.
Oh god, Midnight Delight, sponsored by feet fetishists.
Okay, so obviously the best place to put feet are within socks. Bare feet are gross. Socked feet, especially got the stripes, bam, perfect.
Ah, yes, you're a fan of thigh highs. I see.
My dude, I wear thigh highs.
I mean, to be fair, thigh highs are amazing.
God, can you imagine my next voice is still just him with fucking thigh highs on?
Oh my god. Okay. So this reminds me of just this extremely stupid thing one of my coworkers tried to do before he got, well, fucking fired for stealing money at the job, which, yes, I'm now going to talk about how I stole money from my workplace. Are you happy now, Cartoon Freak? Because this is for you, baby. This is for you. Okay, so what the Anna? What the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck, Anna?
Oh god, this did turn into a feet podcast. Oh god. Oh fuck.
I mean, I had a roommate whose dog was kind of like that. Like, if you had any exposed flesh, they will just walk up and lick you for like 20 minutes. It's really weird and uncomfortable.
Oh god. Well, okay. I'm going to go back to the topic I spoke about before my chat utterly derailed me, which, thank you, Anna. You are providing beautiful content here. Hashtag content, baby. So, anyways, my coworkers nearly stole $20,000.
Jesus fucking Christ. That was a much bigger number than I expected.
And I say nearly because if he had exactly 2 brain cells.
Shut up, wrong fun. I just read what they said. You can steal from Hell Hotel as a treat.
God, yes. God, just. This man was too stupid and he tried to go too big too fast. So it was kind of an open secret that, well, we just kind of stole from the place. And it was a mutual relationship. The place stole money from us as tips. We stole right back from the place with, oh, I don't know, sometimes just not like logging that you gave somebody a cola and just pocketing the $3 for yourself, or giving a friend of yours a bunch of cocktails that you just never catalog, or, oh, I don't know, just graciously providing a person a room that was used but not booked, and then just pocketing a few $100. It happened, and it was, as said, mutual. The place stole from us, and we just stole back, which I think when you work at a place like Hell Hotel where they do steal money from you, I think it's only fair that you steal back, because it's Hell Hotel. It's the worst place on earth. They should be paying us so much better, and they pay us a pittance and then steal our tips. I'm sorry, but you don't get respect, you don't get loyalty, you get your wine stolen. That's what you get, motherfuckers. So, one day, my colleague had the bright idea of, basically, how it worked is that our cash register had keys that were signed to a specific person. These keys all had numbers, and they were very strict about not letting anybody like mess with that. If you lost your cash key, you were really fucked. Like, really fucked. You had a €200 deposit on that. And if you lost that, well, you had to pay a 200 euro deposit again on the next key they're going to make you. And also, if you're unlucky, they're going to send you a receipt for an IT consultation that you will have to pay yourself. It was not fun. It was questionably legal. And thankfully, after a while, they just got rid of the entire system because everyone just hated it and we didn't want it anymore. So we had one central cash register with cash in it instead of relying on wallets, which were unsafe and people just didn't care for them. Oh yeah, Hell Hotel made you pay for so much shit. We had, just to give you a few examples, we had to pay for work uniform, which we had. We weren't just allowed to pick any random suit and tie. No, we had to go through a specialist service, get our clothes fitted, and then pay a bunch of fucking expensive money. Like, really, really, really expensive money. A few thousand. If you're really unlucky. Like me, I was very unlucky because I was, as said, I was big and I was thick. You had to pay for your wallet, which was, well, your wallet. You had like $200 in there, and if you lost that $200, well, good riddance. You need to get that back, buddy. Shoes were another thing, which was separate from the fucking work uniform, which riddle me how that fucking works. And just so much other bullshit that, frankly, we just kind of inched our way back from that by just not paying. A few people just decided, no, fuck this. And they were getting away with that because our workplace was understaffed to hell and back. Just to give you an example of how understaffed we're talking about here. Germany has a specialist program where basically every single workplace can ask for government assistance to get workers, right? It's part of our universal basic income program where basically as long as you apply to places, you'll get like UBI as long as like there isn't like interest in you or it's just bad places. So we would get people sent by the German government who would work for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They would see that our place is fucking garbage, had been overworked to hell and back, and was in utter disrepair. And they would all quit after those 3 weeks tops. The German government decided to stop sending us workers after too many people quit.
You're beyond, so you're just beyond redemption at that point. Even the government wanted nothing to do with it.
The government didn't want to send us workers because they kept quitting. Do you want to know how many full-time employees we had after I was done with the place?
Go on.
3. We had 3 full-time employees.
So, like, just for like the hotel itself, just the bar, or like
just the restaurant part, which was the least staffed of the places. Everywhere else, it was like adequate. We had like six people in like front desk, with 2 people doing night shift exclusively at front desk. We had a bunch of people for like event planning. We had a bunch of people at like HR, at accounting. We had 3 people at a restaurant.
That includes kitchen work, right?
That Yes, that included kitchen work because we had no full-time cooks, not even a head chef, because the head chef got fired for sexual harassment.
Yay, justice? Question mark.
Yeah, no justice. No, no. Honestly, no, no. I was at one point. I wasn't even a full-time employee because, well, I was still technically an intern because you see how it works in Germany is that you start a job as what is essentially an intern. You're at work for like 3 days. You go to school for 2 days, and you basically learn how to be like a waitress and stuff like that. It had like an official title. I got promoted. Yes, I got fucking promoted while I was still in the intern program, which meant that I got half pay. While still doing full-time work. It was hell on earth. And the only way we pulled through was by copious use of waitresses for hire service, which you don't even know that shit's a thing until you actually have to use that stuff. Because, well, who the fuck uses waitresses for hire? Yeah, half pay after a promotion because it wasn't really a promotion. I was just taken from school while I was still at working as an intern.
So you effectively got a field promotion because everybody else died.
Essentially, that is what happened. That is what happened. It was also very illegal. It was very, very illegal. And that is that's when you use a waitress for hire for like weddings and stuff. That's their supposed use case for like one-time events where you don't need like a permanent waitress for, where it's just like this one-off. We were at some points having to pay 5 waitresses for hire a day. 5.
So are they like? Did they cost more than actual employees or what?
They costed us. Okay, so we had 2 waitresses for hire services that we ordered people from, depending on availability. And they were, funnily enough, called kings and queens. I wish I was joking.
Good name.
So you see, Kings used to be only one service, but then people from Kings said, hey, we're kind of getting shafted here. Our boss is getting all the money. We're going to unionize. So they made Queens. So Kings, they got 1.5 times pay, but they were usually like okay. They were adequate. They were pretty. Sometimes we got people that were just piss poor, and you'd rather just literally have a toddler just being there to offer moral support than them. But sometimes we got queens, which was double our pay. Like, no, not double my pay, but double actual full-time employees' pay.
So about quadruple your pay.
Quadruple my pay. That were amazing, that knew the job well, and I was praying to God that they would arrive so I could like leave on time. Because when they were there, holy shit, it's just, oh God, it was amazing. You know what, Anna? I wished I was sometimes promoted to customer. That would have been nice. But
oh man, that reminds me of a casino thing. I gotta tell you when you're done.
Yeah, I'm sorry. we got derailed so hard of talking about my workplace that I didn't even talk about us stealing shit because I had to contextualize just how bad that place is. So, what do I call him? I'm gonna call him Tim. Tim was done with the place. He was about to basically quit. And deciding that he's going to go out with a bang, he takes one of the keys from a person and just decides to, for the next few days, not book anything through his key. It's all going through another person's key while he's like at our little side place, which was basically like a bar. We had a restaurant and we had a little side bar, which was a little bit more chill. You could actually wear like t-shirts in there. It was very nice. But he was... No, we are not going back to talking about feet. No. Bad. Bad chat. No. Anyways, so he booked all of his stuff, which was really, really a lot of fucking money. And then he basically booked it double to essentially nab a bunch of money from his from his customers at the bar, which were ordering a lot, and I do mean a lot of cocktails. He was cribbing a lot of money by just basically duplicating purchases and then nabbing the stuff that he booked on the second key. Oh my fucking god! Yeah. Well, at least it's a good sign. At least people are talking, even if it's this shit. It's fine. At least people are talking. People are engaged, at least. Yeah. So he basically duplicated purchases, but again, he didn't really think about it because he duplicated purchases that he made with one key. So that could all be tracked to him. Because they could basically go, hey, you made these purchases, and then you made these purchases again on somebody's stolen key. What the fuck gives? Now.
Yeah, I'm just... Yeah, his plan doesn't really fucking make sense here.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but that's just how he tried to steal money, which to some extent I get, but also, no, you don't do that shit. So, I'm not going to talk about a hypothetical chat, because, well, I'm not going to incriminate myself in any, like, illegal going-ons and anything. But if somebody were to steal money from Hell Hotel, the logical and the easier solution is to just book something through, well, I don't know, a seminar account. Because you see, our seminar accounts basically handle themselves. When a seminar comes, they just, no, don't steal money for don't steal money from the till. That stuff was counted so many times.
Yeah, that's literally like 30% of my job is just recounting the money in our drawers. And if you're a dollar off, I'm gonna get on you.
Yes, like I got so much fucking shit for being like 50 cents off that I usually just like, if there was anything missing, I just put money in because I didn't want to bother with anything being missing. I didn't want to bother with this shit. I really didn't. So it was just really, really stupid that he didn't go for a seminar account, because seminar accounts basically handle themselves. They were accounts made for rich folks that come over here to talk about some boring PR or advertisement bullshit. And they had a set amount of money, and most of the time they didn't even come close to it. So if we were to, let's say, put a few $100 worth of cola in that account, it just didn't matter at all. Because, well, there was like 100,000, not 100,000, like 25,000 in that account, all for drinking expenses. And nobody gave a shit. Like, oh yes, there's like 50 colas, but, well, we'll give a shit.
Oh, the other incorporeal voice. Chad's asking about it. Hi, my name is Voices. Appropriately enough, I've met Jack through a Discord I have because I run a moderately subpar YouTube channel. So now I'm just here, their guest.
I start in his little podcast. Now he's in mine, and we're live. So yeah.
So what I'm getting from the little talk you're having is just purely hypothetically, completely non. We already talked about feet. We're not talking about paws. We don't need to furry. Also, funny you say that, Anna. My full moniker is Voices in Your Headphones. Anyways, so where was I? Right. So what you're saying is appropriately, if theoretically, hypothetically, if you were to in Minecraft steal money, you just
in Minecraft,
take it from the seminar, pocket it, and whoops, money goes missing sometimes, and that's just that.
Yeah, like, well, these people ordered $100 worth of cola. Guess it's just $100 worth of cola. Oh damn!
And now that money's gone.
That money's gone. Ah well, we just take it out of the account. That's how it works.
God, I just remember there was a time because we were talking about. I don't even remember what reminded me of it, but my job at the casino fired me over effectively nothing. I actually kind of pulled a power move because I ended up I worked in security for about a year. I got fired over effectively nothing. And then I got another job at a different casino for a year and got promoted within that year and then got transferred back to the original casino in a position of power. Now I can spite them.
Amazing.
So, well, I distinctly remember one time, like a week after I got fired, because I had abandoned the casino for about a week while I figured out if I'd be allowed to come back or not. Because I was fired for quote unquote stealing something, and it was literally just basically I work in security, like I said, and I went into the office to start my shift. There's a pair of headphones on the desk, and I basically asked him, it's like, hey, is this supposed to be going into log and found? Is this one of your guys's? Nobody knew where they came from. It's like, all right. Someone said they belong to the morning shift. It's like, all right, I guess I'll hold on to them to the morning shift. And then I put them in my pocket, just kind of went about my day, forgot that I had them. And about 2 days later, I get pulled in the interrogation rooms, and it's about these headphones you stole. And I'm like, oh, whoops, sorry, forgot I had them. Put them on the desk, and they fired me.
Amazing. Fucking amazing.
So, just to prove a point, me being in security, I had to watch things all the time because I'd get stuck in one post for an hour at a time, then we'd rotate. So I started getting in tune with the machines. So, because the way slot machines work is they'll pay off after people put a certain amount of money in. And because legally they have to have like a certain give or take. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, people are creatures of habit. They typically go to the same machine, sit at it for the same amount of time, bet the same numbers, and win the same winnings. And I started realizing, hey, this machine typically always pays out on this day within this hour span. So they fired me, and I waited for my week while I figured out if I was allowed back in, which I was, because I didn't like steal anything major. I didn't even steal anything at all. I gave it back. But point is, so I walk up to a slot machine, put $50 in, hit the button twice, and walk out with $360
Oh, nice.
just out of spite.
Also, yes, Luna, slot machines are rigged. Like most things are rigged at a casino. You could even say you can even say, Voices, that the game was rigged from the start.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. I was legally obligated to. I had to make the Fallout New Vegas reference.
That's the funny thing is, people always ask me, because, okay, one of these streams, it's got to just be me talking about casino shit, because I love talking about casino shit.
Very fair. I'm very happy to provide that space. I'm more than happy.
Like, if anybody's got any burning questions, I'm willing to talk about them. But anyways, so what was the other thing I did? Because I did one other dumb thing to fuck with the casino before I left. Oh no, wait, this wasn't me fucking with the casino. Although there was times I hypothetically possibly stole from work.
In Minecraft.
Because they did fire in Minecraft. There was, okay, so my casino, it kind of has like the best setup. And because there's a break room, and inside of it, it's effectively like a miniature store. And it's completely on the honor system. So you just grab things from the shelf, scan it, scan your fingerprint, because we live in a dystopia future, and it takes money out of your account.
Holy shit.
Money that you put in. Yeah, you put money in, it adds it to your account, and then you just scan your fingerprint, and it'll take out whatever you bought from it. It's kind of rad. But there, if you wanted to, people didn't pay enough attention. You could just walk up, grab something, pretend to pay, and just walk away.
Amazing.
But
amazing.
There is another casino I worked at. I really missed their little store thing, because they didn't. Because in this one, you have to put money in the machine, then log into your account, like I said. But the other one, it was actually tied to your employment badge. So if you walked up, you scan the item, then you scan your badge, and you didn't pay for it then. Instead, whatever you bought was docked out of your paycheck, which I kind of really liked that.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
But let's see.
God, something that used to happen in my old workplace, not even like out of malice, but out of accident, was just that people kept just drinking sodas at the workplace, which technically we were not supposed to do. What we were supposed to do was we either had to pay for Coke, which I'm sorry, but we're at a 4-star hotel restaurant, and we can't afford some sodas for our staff. Are you serious? But so we had to pay for sodas, which thankfully came at a discount. Or we had to just drink, and I do mean, really, the most shitty bottled water known to man, which that was on purpose. It was reduced price thanks to being this shitty. So people just kept drinking the Coke and kept being reprimanded. But nobody wanted to stop, because I'm sorry, but the water sucks. So we had this Cold War going on of our bosses keep on finding, well, our glasses full with Coke, and they're like, hey, what's this Coke glass for? Did you pay your 50 pence for that glass of Coke, idiot? Or are we going to have to reprimand you and then not fire you? Because we can't fire you, considering we have like 3 of you.
That's how one of my workers is still, like, one of the things we have to do with my workers is if they're off a certain amount of money, we lock. And we don't really fire you until you get like $500-600 off within a year. So we're not really that strict. But within a year, one of my workers is like $800 off. And the only reason we haven't fired her is because we haven't been able to hire a replacement.
Amazing. Fucking
her
amazing.
Her job security is the fucking economy.
Amazing. Oh god. But it does. My little anecdote does have a relatively happy ending, because thanks to our Cold War of attrition with our management, after a while they relented and they got our workplace finally something sweet to drink. It was fizzy apple juice, which is very popular in Europe for some reason, or
I
at
can
least
get
in
down with
Germany.
it.
So we got that, and just throughout the entire like process of them announcing it, they were like, "Oh yes, we were so kind. We thought to provide this to you," and we're like, "Oh, shut up! Just shut the fuck up. You know exactly that you just didn't want the coke to be stolen. You sluts. You know exactly this is just all about the coke." Which honestly, now in retrospect, considering the name, is very funny. It is kind of hilarious that we had a Cold War at my workplace around coke.
It's like I can't honestly remember the most passive aggressive. Like that's the most passive aggressive thing I've heard so far in a job. I can't even think of. No, I can't think of like a norm in one of my jobs that was like to that level. Although
No, not
I
casinos. Not casinos. Sadly, I used to work at Hell Hotel as a waitress, which is Germany's worst 4-star restaurant hotel.
yeah, if you want to know about casino things, I'll answer whatever fucking question you have because I can talk all night about. But you did mention having to buy exorbitant expensive uniforms for work.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I don't have to do that, but every year I have to pay a fee for what's called my gaming badge.
Mm-hmm.
Because legally in America, and I don't know if it's worldwide, but at very least in America, we have something called the Gaming Commission, which is the branch of the government that overlooks casinos, basically. Because we don't legally classify it as gambling. No, it's classified as gaming. And I work for the Gaming Commission. I'm not going to say which state because I don't want to fucking dox myself that far. But
Ohio.
when I first, thankfully not. Oh fucking cartoon! I will answer that question because I spent a year in security, and my favorite hobby was figuring out how, if I could, would I rob this casino. But anyways, so I have to pay a fee every year for my badge, which is only like $200.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when I first started in security, I paid. They don't take it all at once. They take like $50 out of each paycheck until it's paid off. And I noticed that my third paycheck, they didn't take it anymore, even though I only paid $100 of the like $300 I was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me, it's like, oh yeah, we got rid of, they stopped charging people for badges. And I'm just like, fucking, why'd you have to wait until I got hired? Like, it was only $100, but it's like, can I get that back? Why is nobody else going to pay? Because I'd feel less salty if I had to pay the entire thing. But no, I was caught in the middle ground where I didn't have to pay the full thing, but people after me don't have to pay anything.
That's
Or,
oh god. Ah yes,
but
we will have to. That's just what the British government will do next. You'll have to get a gaming license if you want to play, for example, Fortnite.
Think the funny part though is cartoon is asking about which room is the money room. It's in the back hallway connected with two very large metal doors that require two badges and two security members, or at least two members of a certain security level, have to scan their badge and both input a code while having surveillance watch them to someone just enter not even the room, but the room that leads to the room.
Oh god.
So yeah, it's a little hard to get into the money room.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh god. So this reminds me of basically yes, adding here this shit. So you'd think that a luxury hotel would hide its most valuable assets behind like some good security, right? You'd think we'd we'd make sure that our stuff couldn't be stolen.
Wrong fun. I will answer your questions after Jack is done.
Do you want to know where our most expensive wines were hidden away?
Was it just under the counter?
You see, our restaurant had a downstairs, a basement, right? And it was locked away by this just like rope. You'd pull away the rope, you'd go downstairs, you'd open a shitty steel door that was bent up, broken. The key lock had been removed. You'd open that up, and you'd find just this closet with a bunch of wine racks and just all of the wine I own. Well, not I own, but the hotel owned. That also included our really expensive stuff. So there was just a few $1,000 worth of wine in this rackety, shitty wine cellar that was being dehumidified by a $50 Amazon bought dehumidifier. I am not shitting you. They got this.
I believe you.
They got this thing from Amazon, and every single day we'd have to go downstairs and just pour out the water tank, slam that thing shut, give it a few seconds to see if it works. Because sometimes we had to call IT, and they would have to slap the dehumidifier to make sure it works, and then we could continue with our work.
That reminds me. So my sports book, it has like, let's see, about 18 TVs, and they're all hooked up in the very back, and there's like 10 different cable boxes. So it's basically like a miniature server room back there. And obviously those get kind of hot. So the best thing they got for this casino pulls in literally millions a month.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing they could have got for us was a fucking fan just to point at the servers.
Yep. But just to make sure that we're not forgetting anything, because Bad Wrong Fun asked about it. How are games and casinos actually rigged? Because honestly, I kind of want to know myself.
Oh, that's the funny part. They're not. So here's the thing about casinos is whenever you play games on the table, there's always you're playing blackjack. It's the most fair game in the casino. But the problem is, even if you play perfectly, the house has a 2% edge. Not because of any like trickery from the house or anything. It's just some games where when you play as the host, you have an advantage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, the way like blackjack works, the dealer has to hit. Let's see. I'm trying to find the best way to word it without breaking down all the math. But the dealer has to hit 17 and they stop. That's where they're when they start drawing their cards. That's their cutoff point. They can't go above that number. If they go above but the thing is, all the people around the table, it's like a table can hold up to 5 players usually on a bigger table. But say even if 2% edge, say 4 of the 5 people won, but that one guy lost, that's a bit of money going in. And those people that won are going to bet their money back. And then they're going to lose that. So we don't do any trickery. It's just people keep wanting to put in more money until eventually they don't have any more money to put in. Whatever. The best thing is, there's a saying that goes, when you win at a casino, you're not winning, you're getting a loan.
Oh my God.
Or that's like roulette. It's like literally all they do is spin a wheel, throw a ball. There's no trickery. It's just there's so many different places and ways to bet. that it more often than not, everybody loses money for the casino.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And slot machines, legally required, they have to pay out a certain amount of money based on how much they put in. Like, I think it's every $100,000 they have to pay out at least 10,000. But again, that's on the macro scale. And once they hit that 100,000, what's losing $10,000?
Makes sense.
And then whenever those people win, again, they just bet it all back, trying to hit more. So yeah, it's the actual casino itself. There's no trickery going on. It's all pure psychology.
Which, God, if there's just one thing to say about the human brain, it's just how stupid up psychology is. Yeah, people don't tend to quit. Well, people can quit when they're ahead. The issue is just that gambling rewires your entire brain to basically. So how your brain sees gambling is very different to how it actually works, because it's not just a sunk cost fallacy. It's that the gambler's brain sees near wins as wins, even if it doesn't really matter. Because even just the anticipation of winning is enough to bring your brain incredible amounts of serotonin. Like, your brain lights up like a damn Christmas tree when it just sees a hint of, oh God, if just a little bit more, I could have won that. Even when really, no, it's random chance. It won't matter if you had a near win, you still lost. Even if it was just like nearly there, or God, a little bit more, just need that extra push. Like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. But
yeah, because your brain, it very much like, hey, near means next time I'll do it, but there is no next time in a casino.
It literally rewires your brain. Gambling does that. It makes you addictive.
I went to visit some friends in Kansas City, and I took one of them to a casino because I wanted to teach him how to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat him down at the blackjack table, and we only did like 3 or 4 hands, and he won. And when he got done, he admitted his heart was racing just by sitting there. It's like, yeah, that's why people get addicted.
Yep.
But anytime I go gamble, the biggest thing is, it's like any other vice. You have to go in. It's entertainment. You're not going to win, and have a budget. Walk in. Only take in what you expect to lose, and have that cutoff in your budget, but also have a cutoff in your winnings. Because if I walk into a casino, I walk in with $200. If I hit $400 in winnings, I stop gambling. Because you're not going to win forever. You got to if you hit double your money, walk away. You won.
You're the biggest winner at that casino if you make even plus $200.
Yeah, that's why when I sat at the table with my friend, I just showed him the basics because I'm a certified blackjack dealer. I say certified. No one ever gave me work. This isn't like a thing you actually get certified for, but it makes me sound better.
Mm.
Anyways, so yeah, I just taught him the basics. I walked in with $100. They gave me $50 in chips. I gave him 50 of it. We sat down. I showed him. I won 2-3 hands, and I got $95. He sat down, won 2 or 3 hands. So we had basically 100% win rating, and he got up to 100. And I said, "All right, we're leaving because we're not going to keep that up." It was like a 10-minute casino visit because I went in fully expecting to lose all the money, but we doubled it back, and it's like, "Here, you can give me $5 back. You can keep all your winnings."
Nice.
So I walked out with I walked in with 100. I walked out with 100. I was happy, and he walked out with $95 he didn't have.
Amazing. Meanwhile, at my old workplace, the bar that I basically inherited after Tim was the only employee we actually had to fire in all of the 5 years I worked at my old workplace because of him trying to steal like $20,000. But yeah, I got the bar, and we had this little like I don't even want to call it a casino corner because that would be an insult to casinos. Even it was basically just a few dot boards and some card games that had a few cards even missing that we just kind of scrounged up from somewhere. I don't even. I think we just got them from like co-workers who were just, hey, have this. We don't really want it anymore. The Ace of Hearts is missing. And one night I was bartending there, and it was like a very boring night, barely anything going on. I was basically just fiddling with our turntables, just playing some gorillas because we just had that as like royalty bought music.
Which song? That's important.
Clint Eastwood.
That's acceptable.
We only had up to Demon Days.
That's okay. That's fine.
So I was bored, and I see these like three schmucks, these three German fellas, just sit on a table, and they were completely enraptured in this game of, I think it was Texas Hold'em. And I'm like, lads, I'm sorry, but you're not allowed to gamble here. And they're like, well, we're not gambling with money. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I leave them be. And after like 30 minutes, I just hear wood creaking. I'm like, oh, god damn it, fucking no. Please don't make me call security. So I walk upstairs, and these men look like they're going to kill each other. So I do my usual shtick, which is just walk in front of them, separate them, go, hey, please stop. Please fucking stop. You're in our establishment. I want to kick you out. I don't want you to ruin your stay here, because if you don't stop, we will kick you out of the entire hotel. And they're fuming. But hearing that shit, they're like correcting the ties, they're calming down, and then I see what they're gambling for. And do you want to know what they're gambling with? Voices. Do you want to know what these grown men were so up in arms about?
I've got two fucking assumptions. One is alcohol. The other is Magic the Gathering.
I fucking hate you. How did you expect this?
Because it's like fucking the only two forms of.
Oh, god damn it. Buddy,
Was I right?
Buddy, you were right. You were right, but also you have to disconnect, reconnect, buddy. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm hanging on. Also, yes, Clint Eastwood again. Clint Eastwood again. The same song that they played for our turntables. Because another thing that happened, besides just these grown men destroying themselves for what I think was a Mox Opal or a Mox Ruby, which they are expensive cards. They are expensive as hell. So I can't blame them. But another thing that happened at the bar while I was doing bartending work was that somebody figured out that our turntables were smartphone enabled. You could connect your phone to them. You'd had to download an app, and you could just connect your phone to them, which I used for when I was at the workplace. But you see, you couldn't really drag like songs on there because it was a hard lockout. We could only use the disc that was inside the turntables because that was the stuff that we bought with money. They were licensed songs that we had to license from the German government itself to play at our bar, because that's just how it works. You have to go to Germany, go to the GEMA, which is basically just the German copyright office, and then you have to be like, hey, I would like to buy copyright songs, please. And the German government will go and ask you 20,000 questions, all asking which songs, and just so many questions around how you will play them, if it will be recorded, if it will be with like live audience, how many people you expect there. It's a whole heap of bullshit. But essentially, what it means that some poor sod connected their phone to our turntables expecting to play some shitposty music, figured out that they couldn't, and that the only thing they could do was fast forward, move to the next track, move back a track, pause, and bump up the volume. Do you know which song blared on a random 2018 night, causing us to get the biggest noise complaint of the entire fucking town's history?
Okay, let me guess. Let's make it a game. Was it an English song?
It was an English song.
Okay. What genre was it?
Pop rock?
Pop rock. Okay. Was it Avril Lavigne's Girlfriend?
No, I'm sorry. It was
what was it?
It was actually mentioned like before. You even like I even mentioned it before. It was Clint Eastwood.
Talk about Clint Eastwood? Oh yeah. I wouldn't really call that pop rock, but I'll accept it.
It's the best. I'm not very knowledgeable on music genres, sadly. I'm
I'd call Clint Eastwood more of alternative.
Fair enough. Fair enough. As I said, I'm not very knowledgeable about this stuff. Ting
ting ting a ting a ting a ting.
Oh
Cartoon
God.
Freak.
No, not this shit again. I hated that song. I always hated that song. I swear. But good night.
That's well mentally.
Good night, Luna. You sleep well. But fuck. English is a very difficult language. It's also a fake language, and it's extremely bad. Anyways, we got so many noise complaints that night. It is actually incredible. Our hotel had to pay such a huge fine, which was the cause for some of our investors from Britain flying over to ask us what the fuck is going on at our hotel.
That's a very good question.
Which, very good question. I don't think you'll like the answers. Because, as said, our old owners were... Okay, I'm just gonna say it because it's like one of three like beer companies. It was Warsteiner. Warsteiner was our previous owner. And this guy connected to our turntables, which were connected to our speakers. You see, speakers that were meant for live music, because our bar also doubled as like a venue for actually some pretty famous German musicians. We had a few folks around, which is surprising considering our hotel was in the middle of nowhere, but it also wasn't because we were connected to because right next door to our hotel was this really expensive rich people like beauty clinic, essentially, where you could get like rich people massages and that shit.
Rich people massages.
It's basically just rich people massages.
Oh, it's a way to put it. So basically, your employers, not employees, but the people that own the company had to come down, and they were in fact not happy They were not feeling glad. They did not have sunshine in a bag.
They did not have sunshine in the bag. They were definitely not having sunshine in the bag. And the thing is, they couldn't really complain too much because it was basically an open secret that our previous owner and also the new British owners were using us as, and well, it's kind of shitty to say, but it was just the way it is. We were a tax refund. We were not meant to make money. We were just there to, well, we were there to make money, but not by actually being a good hotel, just by being a write-off. Because they bought us back when, well, Britain was still part of Europe. Which, oh boy.
Yeah, I forgot about Brexit.
Like, imagine being a British company who signed up to have a deal with a shitty German hotel, which was entirely as a tax write-off. And then Brexit happens.
Christ, I can't even, like... Sorry, someone fucking sent me some dumb thing.
It's fine. It's fine.
I get distracted. I think it's like a fake tweet. It's fucking Elon Musk says, next I'm buying Coca-Cola to put the cocaine back in.
Oh my god. Oh no. Oh
Anyways.
no. I mean, he would. Of all the people, he would.
I'm pretty sure the guys didn't have anything happen to them. They probably just stayed a night and left.
Yeah, we didn't find them. Because, like, the turntables didn't say who connected to them. It's like, why would they? Why would the turntables be able to say, hey, this person connected to them? It's like, it was not, like, really thought of to be used that way. It was not a use case they ever thought. It was just, hey, let's make our Clint Eastwood played Anna. They played Clint Eastwood at ear-deafening volumes through our huge as fuck venue speaker system at 2 a.m.
Let's see.
Clint Eastwood is also a person, yes, but it's also a song by Gorillaz that is very good. I recommend you to listen to it. It is a very good song.
I preferred 19-2000.
What's my favorite Gorillaz song now that I think about it?
I'll tell you the one bad song. It's fucking Saturn Bars.
Sorcerers.
That's okay. Fuck. I'm trying to... Man, they had a really good song that came out, and I actually forget what it was. Shit. What's it? I can look this up. I cannot remember the name of the song. Hang on. What was it? Humility. That's a good song. There we go. Anyways, fucking back to actually talking about the relevant things and not the Gorillaz.
It's fine. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want.
I will come to your house and fight you, cartoon freak. I know where you live.
Honestly, I didn't like Saturn Bars that much. It was okay. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't any of the songs in the fall, but it was only okay. It's fine. It's adequate.
Do you think Twitch would get mad at me if I threatened to come to our viewers' houses?
Only you can say it as long as you say in Minecraft.
Oh, that reminds me. I gotta fucking peek on my fucking Minecraft server because my friend asked me, "Hey, where's your place?" Oh, I found it, and I've been paranoid ever since.
Oh no! Oh god! Oh god! No! Oh god! Oh no!
Okay, so it's not really a horror story, but I do have two bad stories from one of my old jobs. Well, one's a dumb, funny story that I did, and one's a bad story.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I shouldn't be allowed in any position of power or authority ever,
mm-hmm.
because I worked for a brief stint. I worked at a halfway house, which are you familiar with what that means?
Sadly, no. No.
Okay, so well, there's two kinds of halfway houses. One's for people that are, I'd say, mentally unwell, and it's like kind of a mix of an asylum and housing.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I don't want to say asylum because that implies some bad shit. But
I know what you mean,
sanctuary,
though.
either way. And the other one is for reformed criminals who they can sign up to be put in some kind of little housing where they'll. It's basically the most minimum security they can get in prison, where it's literally what I worked with was when I lived in Colorado. There was just they turned an old motel into like one of these halfway houses, so people just lived in the rooms. So the whole point is award. I guess award is a better thing. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, all these people were convicted criminals, and they were too close to their release date to act up. Most of them were, so they just deal with bullshit. And sometimes, for my own amusement, I would give them so much bullshit because these people would go and get like actual jobs as part of rehabilitation. They'd go. They tell us when their shift starts. They'll go sign out of a computer, go to work, and there's a time when they're supposed to get back, and they'd come back in, sign to their computer. It's all good. But every time someone came back in, they had to get frisked. They had to get checked, just everything, just to make sure they're not seeking any contraband. And so this one guy, I kind of messed up the first frisking because I didn't like get everything that I was supposed to. Because you're supposed to like check the arms, check the torso, the chest, the legs, the crotch, just everything. It just kind of like just a quick pat down. But I missed a part, and he put all of his things back in my pocket, and I told him, like, oh shit, sorry, I have to do it again. I fucked up. And it's like, oh, I don't need to be wasting my time. And he had to empty out all of his pockets again, and he had so much shit in his pockets. And so I frisked him down. I did it properly, and it's like, all right, he's good to go. It's like, so he was talking some shit. And I go, oh, hey, I'm sorry. I thought I saw something in your pocket. So I fucking frisked him a third time just to spite him.
Oh, no.
But, like, usually I was good to the people. Like, some guy, he was, like, taking some classes thing. He had to have one of us review it. Like, some paper he wrote. And to get approved, he had to have one of us sign it. I just looked at it for, like, 10 seconds, signed it. I didn't really care. The guy was doing hard work. I don't fucking care what he wrote. Point is, he was making an attempt at rehabilitation. That's all that mattered to us. So I was usually good to the people, except for whenever they were sassy. I'd fuck with them. But there was one guy I was really good with because he was like really friendly, very kept to himself, but he was social. He chatted a lot. But the thing is, part of my job, I have access to all their criminal records. And so for fun, whenever people were asleep, because I did the night shift, I was mostly there to make sure nobody snuck off property or anything. So a lot of the people got arrested for like battery, assault, theft, drugs, just the usual things. But then this guy, we called him Baron. I don't remember what his real name was. I'm not going to say it anyways. But Baron, he was really good buddy with him. I was like really good with him. Really friendly, always happy to see him. And then I was like, fuck, what did Baron do to get in here? It's like, I probably sold some drugs or some shit. So I checked his records of sexual assault on a minor. I was no longer friends with Baron after that.
Yikes. Oh, God. Oh, God.
So, yeah, fucking some of these people. Like, I admit, I don't think I even really talked to him after that point. It's just like...
Yeah, I can feel that. I can feel on that. This
oh, go ahead.
Oh, God, this reminds me now of frankly, the horror story of just figuring out all of the shit our heads cooked it.
Oh, God. Was he like that chef from Ratatouille? Like, where all of them have some kind of criminal history?
No, for the most part, our cooks were interns who were really passionate, Our best cook was, frankly, an intern called Leia, who I had an incredibly friendly relationship with.
How often did you make out in the kitchen?
I plead the fifth. But sadly, we didn't actually make out that. We didn't make out that much, mostly because she was straight and she was one of the few people who at the time knew I was. Well, at the time I was a girl. Now I am just something.
You're an amalgamation.
I am a man-made horror beyond comprehension. Thank you very much. But you see, the girl had so much fucking talent. Our head chef was somebody who didn't come to the profession with passion. He was the son of the previous hotel director, who basically got a full just ride to being a head chef by just being daddy's little boy and also going to Berlin and studying under famous chefs and then flunking out of like cooking school because he didn't really care. So one day at work, which was also New Year's Eve, we have our big event. And we had a bunch of cooks for hire. But more than usual, something was fishy, but we didn't know what. So we kind of started digging around, but we didn't really figure anything out. And then the hotel director actually came to us to speak for New Year's Eve, which was unusual. Our hotel director rarely showed up because he was very rarely just there. He didn't really give a shit. Which honestly was kind of why the place was breaking apart. He didn't really care, but it's hotel. I can't blame him. He came down, rounded up every single employee, and I do mean every single employee, from accounting to bookkeeping to housekeeping, even people from a rarely seen wellness district.
Boy.
Which, damn, this must be important that he's calling everyone. So he gives a little speech, like a little motivational speech, just like talks about this great hotel, yada yada yada. We just kind of skipped past this because we didn't care, and we also kind of knew that he was lying.
Wait. Let me guess how the story ends. He counted people, and every 10th one had to be beaten to death by the other 9.
Oh my fucking god, no. What came was so much worse, because he then had to
What's
say...
worse than being decimated?
He then had to say, it is sadly with a heavy heart that I have to announce that our head chef will no longer be working with us, as he has been fired effectively as of this morning. And also, I would like every single female employee, even the interns, to come to me once we're ready for New Year's Eve, because I have to talk to you about allegations of pedophilia and sexual abuse of kinds that frankly disgust me, and I want to make this up to you because we are going to file a class action lawsuit against our previous employee. It disgusts me what went on in this hotel, and the fact that this happened under my watch is frankly an embarrassment. Thank you very much. Have a nice night. He then just...
Fucking hell.
And then he walks out, and I shit you not, 90% of the female staff gets up and follows him, including our interns, which you start internship in Germany at 16.
Boy, that's no bueno.
That is indeed no bueno. And frankly, the amount of shit that came out of this investigation was disgusting. And as said, I really did mean it when I say that Hell Hotel was the place where every single human crime did occur. Because by God, it did occur in there.
While I was expecting some like you mentioned, I expected maybe murder, maybe rape, just really bad shit. I did this.
No. We got the dregs of humanity working in our kitchen, which, God, this man.
What is wrong with kitchen staff? Like, people that like to cook are always somehow fucked.
The thing is, to actually work in a kitchen is hell in and of itself. It is extremely hard to work as a cook because of just how worked to death you will become as you work as a cook. So most cooks just become addicted to cocaine. Like, I can admit this. Cocaine was used in our kitchen. Cocaine was bought in our kitchen. Cocaine was sold in our kitchen. Cocaine was offered to me in our kitchen, and I politely declined.
Fucking reminds me when I first got hired at a Pizza Hut. The first time, like my second day, I met one of our managers. He had a fat bag of weed in her pocket. It's not as bad as cocaine, but
Honestly, if it was weed, I would have probably tried it. And sadly, weed doesn't work on me. I figured this out in my stay in America. It's like it's nothing to me. I have to get to get drunk, I have to drink so much alcohol, it's unreal. And weed has no effect on me.
I can tell you about my time trying weed when I lived in Colorado.
Oh God. But
good.
The thing is that our old head chef was incompetent to the nth degree. And he's also the reason why most of our kitchen staff left.
For good reason.
Yes. But also, he was probably the reason why our kitchen tanked. Just because of the shit he made us use. Because you see, most kitchens go out into the world and grab like fresh ingredients, right? Which, yes, I know, Gordon Ramsay, haha, always cook fresh, yes, but really, if you got a good kitchen, it's mostly like cooks going out and grabbing something from the market and then bringing it over, having like an actual line to like local farmers and stuff. Because that's how you get the good stuff. Like, yes, you can buy some like frozen stuff, and like most restaurants do buy at least some frozen stuff, but usually the good stuff is fresh. Our cook didn't like to get up in the morning.
It's mood.
So he slowly turned down all of the fresh stuff we had. Which I could see our kitchen devolve in real time. It was actually amazing. We started out with a lot of fresh ingredients to the point where I always stole food from work to the end of my tenure. I mean all of our food came from a frozen foods manufacturer back in my old like place of residence, which was like, so the hotel was in the middle of ours nowhere. The place where they got the frozen food from was inside the butthole. It was that remote. The only export was sheep and the frozen food.
Was a decent amount of the frozen food cheap?
Yes. Yes, it was. And you could actually like feel the kitchen get more and more demoralized as they just realize, oh, we're not even cooking anymore. We're just reheating packages. It's why why some of our like interns smuggled in fresh ingredients to actually cook for schmucks like me, just to feel something.
Their addiction to cooking was not being met.
Yes, because they literally barely did shit. Everything came pre-packaged. And some of it was good, I can admit that. It's not like it was bad food all of the time. It was just that it was soulless. It had nothing. It was all just frozen shit. So the highlights of like our kitchen was when, for example, my friend Leia, who I love, her cooking was amazing. She brought in some chicken, and over like the hours that I was doing like night shift there, she made a pulled pork burger, which not a pulled pork, but a pulled chicken burger, which I would give my soul to have even a bite off again. I am not exaggerating when I say that the best food I've ever had was cooked that night, entirely out of that pulled chicken burger. And I'm so fucking sad that I will never have it ever again, and I have not found a suitable substitute.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I don't think I can even think of like a food like that I fucking couldn't live without.
Like working at a restaurant really opens your senses to like just how much food there is, because there's going to be some times where you're just going to walk into work and you're going to be exposed to something you have never heard of, and you're like, oh, what the fuck is this shit? Also, may I have some, please? Uh, why did you say cock, Anna? What the what type of cryptic codes are you trying to say here? I don't get this, but sure.
Let's try to think of other dumb fun stories of my workplaces, but
Oh, I'm dumb. I am not very smart. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
I think I might have told this one on my little voice box thing, but I don't recall. So if it's a repeat, you're gonna bear with me.
That's
so
fine.
on a much lighter note than the fucking chef rapist.
Yep.
There is. Let's see. I worked in. I always start the story with I worked in a casino as if I don't actively do that and talk about it all the time. But when I first started, I was kind of thrown into the fire because my very first day on my own was New Year's Eve.
Oh dear.
Which
oh god.
You can understand why it was a bit busy. Typically, casino security works on a very tight schedule.
Mhm.
Like, especially I was grave shift. It was come in at 10 a.m., leave at 6 a.m. every day. Like, not a minute variation. And except for on New Year's Eve, we have what's called all hands on deck, in which we have 12-hour shifts. So all three shifts kind of overlap to meet the demands. So I'm just kind of walking around doing my own thing because we've got double the people we usually do. So I don't have to stand at one post all night like usual.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up walking towards the front and I see pretty much every security manager and supervisor surrounding one guy. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what happened? And so I don't get involved. I stay just far enough away to listen and to watch. And so the guy is like showing off his phone. It's like, oh, it's not me. It's like, oh, this is my husband. I had it. It's like here's pictures of me and him. It's like, and I'm just like, okay, I figured what did this guy get accused of groping a woman or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So because that's the logical conclusion here.
Mm-hmm.
No, about 2 hours later, I went to the back office and one of my supervisors was hanging out. And I asked him, so what's up with that guy? He's like, oh yeah, he punched one of the machines and the button broke off. And I'm like, the fuck's he talking about his husband for then?
Gay people are just like that.
Fucking, all I can think of is like that fucking Brandon Rogers clip where he's like, move, I'm gay.
Honestly, I'd pull that shit. Like, if I just say it convincingly enough, just shit like this happens. Like, oh yeah, sure, okay, I'll believe you. Like, wait, what do you mean? This is not what I was called for.
Or
which, God, no, fuck, I remember this now. Oh god, okay. This activated my almonds. This has activated my almonds in my brain. So, early morning, April 2018. Off season. We have 5 people. It is 7 a.m. I just finished basically putting everything together for breakfast, which really was pittance. Suddenly, I see 2 ladies walk up, very much just finished from making out. I'm like, cool. Lesbians, Lebanese, gay, homosexuales, cool. So, I basically greet them, say, hey, it's breakfast buffet, but it's like 5 people. Just take what you want. I don't give a shit. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll take what we want. And the monkey's paw curls when I said that, because I walk away for a moment and I come back to see them unplug our Nespresso machine.
They took the. I'm sorry. I looked down at my phone for like. They took the fucking coffee machine.
Yeah. When I said they can take everything, I didn't expect them to mean it literally, because they were like, "Oh yeah, we're taking the caffeine, the coffee machine with us for like the morning. We don't really want to eat. We just want to take the coffee machine. It's fine, right? There's like 5 people." And I'm like,
the fucking, as you said, the monkey paw curl.
The monkey paw curled, but I had to keep a straight face as I said, "I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, ma'am. But, no. This is a permanent fixture on our buffet. You may take coffee cups, but you cannot take the entire machine."
Good Lord.
And they just look at me like a Victorian era orphan, just sad but resigned. They just kind of nod, plug the machine back in.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
And then I walk away again, like a fool, because I was like, okay, I reprimanded them. What could possibly go wrong now? I talked to my cook colleague about what's happening. She is laughing, going like, "Oh yeah, that's funny. You might want to check on them though. Not that they're trying to take it again." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, fair enough." So I walk back out, and they're not taking the coffee machine again. They're not taking the coffee machine. No. They have taken one of, like the trays that like waitresses have, where they like bring you like coffee cups.
Yeah.
They took one of mine, and we were currently putting on that tray like 8 espressos that with more being made as I was like looking at them.
They were just trying to stock up on coffee, basically, is what I'm hearing.
So finally, I kind of just resign myself. And I just look at them. They look at me. I look at them. And just in that moment, we have this unshared vow to just ignore each other and then pretend this never happened.
Okay. I got that's fucking amazing, first off. But there's a story I have from, again, the casino when I was in security that I remembered from during my last one. So you've dealt with a lot of drunk people, I assume.
Yes. Good God,
So-
I have.
Surprisingly, at a casino, people don't get too drunk. But like they get a little buzz, but they don't get too terrible. Mostly because beer there is fucking expensive. It's like $8 for a piss water beer.
You'd
So-
think they make it cheaper, considering that drunk people spend more.
So what they ended up doing was one night they had a promotion where it was like $3 margarita night.
Oh, mama.
So the entire casino was drunk and surprisingly well behaved. But there was one point where I got a call from my. I ended up getting a call on my little earpiece because we use code and shit. I distinctly remember hearing my number. It's like, 22, can you go to Bravo 04 and meet 13? And I'm like, sure, why not? So I walk over to the little area, and there's just a woman on the floor. And my first thought is, oh God, she's dead. Thankfully, she wasn't dead. I just saw my supervisor standing there with a clipboard, just writing shit down. And he just looks at me and is like, pick her up. Like, and he's usually polite. He's usually doesn't bark orders. It's like, okay, so that's very unlike him. So I pick up this woman who's like, I'll admit, I'm short. I'm 5'7". And at the time, I was like 150 pounds.
Manlet.
And this woman, shut the fuck up. But this woman couldn't, if this woman was maybe 5'4", couldn't be more than 120 pounds. One woman is, no, Anna, number 13 was my supervisor. Anyways, so I end up picking her up, and this woman, maybe 120 pounds, is a lot of weight when it's dead weight. So I pick her up, I have to like lift her over my shoulder and sit her down in one of the fucking machines, one of the slot machine chairs. And so I asked my supervisor, hey, well, in the middle of picking her up, I even said, it's like, are you going to help? Nope. And I kept writing on his board. And so I end up, right. So I get her in place, and he's just filling out a medical report, some legally required to do, so they can't sue us. And I ask him, I was like, so why are you not helping me? He's like, because I already picked her up. So she fell in their seat 3 times. This woman was so drunk that we had to call her a cab and wheel her out on a wheelchair. She couldn't walk.
Holy shit.
So she got, like, we guided her to the taxi. She gave them her address, and they asked me, someone asked me, it's like, oh, so what are they going to do when she's there? It's like, not my problem anymore. It's her issue to figure out. This woman was just, there's the term white girl wasted, and she's pretty much proved it. Or another fun drunk person was, you can't be too drunk in a casino. If you get too drunk, they're going to kick you out.
Mm-hmm.
And so this, like, 2 young girls come inside, like both their boyfriend. One gives me her ID. I scan it. She's of age. I give her ID back. She walks away. And the next girl, she's like visibly drunk. So I'm like, nah, mate, you can't come in. It's like you're too wasted. And she's like, oh, and my supervisor actually comes up because I let a drunk person in because I didn't realize. And she's like, oh, it's like, my friend's drunk. It's like, no, your friend's fine. I look over at her friend. Her friend just pulled herself together really well to get past the eye check. Uh, so I ended up having to argue with this girl for like 10 minutes about her being too drunk to come in. And I even should have said, like, she's like, "Oh, you let my friend in." And I have to admit, yes, I fucked up. I'm going to get in trouble for that later. I can't let you in. And so, just perfectly comical timing. She lifts her arm. She's like, "I'm not that drunk." Like, swings her arm, smacks her fucking boyfriend's drink out of his hand by accident. So I just look at her. It's like, I think that just told me everything I need to know. It was an interesting night. They tried to bribe me. One of them, uh, she tried to offer, like, oh, if I could sleep with her if she let me in, and her boyfriend was right there and he didn't seem to mind. So I fucking straight up said, I was like, no, you're a cuck. You're too drunk. Get out.
L plus ratio plus you're a cuck.
Dude, in security, we do not give a shit. We will absolutely shit talk you to your face.
Yeah, very fair.
Like, there's a guy that when COVID came in, we had to people had to have a mask on to get inside.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy kept refusing to put on a mask, and he kept trying to walk past me. And I like kept stepping back and forth in front of him. And he tells me, it's like straight up, it's like, "Oh, if you step in front of me again, I'm knocking you flat." So he's like, "Shut up, step around." And I stepped in front of him again. I just stared at him. It's like, well, what are you gonna do?
Come on, buddy, take the shot.
Come on, I got about 3,000 eyes watching me. We have literally thousands of cameras on property. Do it.
Do it, pussy. No balls.
He did not. In fact, did not.
Yeah, it's always with guys like these that just they seem to be the hot. They seem to think that they are the hottest shit, but the second you actually like test them on it, they crumple, like this house of cards they are.
Man, my favorite is on multiple times I've heard someone be like, "Do you know who my dad is?" Like, I don't give a shit, and you're not your dad. Get out.
God. Meanwhile, at my old workplace, we had some repeat customers who would always bitch about like old deals that we had that weren't applicable anymore. For example, we used to have like trial runs of stuff that was sent to us by manufacturers as promotional material and also as like basically market tests, which were like supposed to basically gauge, is this a good product, and also will people actually give a shit? Most of the time, though, they basically got stolen by us. Like, there used to be this incredibly delicious pink soda we used to get called Indian Hibiscus Tonic that I just gulped down by like the boxes, and I just hide away, and they'd be like, "Oh, how many people bought this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, a lot of people bought this stuff." Well, no, it was all me. I single-handedly caused an entire soda to like hit the German market entirely because I was such a big fan of it. But then we had these guys who would come to us and be like, "Hey, so where's this niche product that you sold for like a month in June while I was here in a seminar? It was not very popular." And I'm like, "Sir, it discontinued." And they're like always outraged, like, "This can't be. Let me look in your fridge." And they would always just walk into the back office and try to like get in, and we'd have to like step in front of them and go, "Hey, no, you can't, buddy, no." So they would always test us, and our protocol was that our back door was deadly to any customer, so any force underneath deadly force is authorized to get them to piss off. We had customers legitimately die by accidentally stepping into our back door or back office, getting into the freezer, and freezing to death. Which I don't know how that worked, considering our freezer doors have inside like door handles that you can open our doors with, but you get too drunk, and I suppose it can happen, right? If you're too drunk to even really think, you're just gonna freeze to death. It happens. So we get to slap our customers, or punch our customers, or legitimately hurt our customers when they go into our back office, because we are not supposed to allow them back in there. 2 people died in our back office freezer. We are not going to have a third.
I kind of live the dream where you're allowed to punch your.
It's like, why would you walk into our back office like that? You're not allowed in there. We tell you, hey, if you step too close, we're going to be allowed to use force. You step in there, it is your issue. And by God, I slap people. And always, as soon as they even feel a worker's hand on the delicate little rich body, they crumple. Because they're just not used to actually using their little hand. So, oh no, I can't punch somebody. Especially not like a dirty poor like that. Oh God, no. So they just crumple up like little toilet paper. It's frankly amazing. Because they talk so much hot shit, and then nope. They're just absolutely ridiculous.
Unfortunately, good.
And actually, I'm just gonna link it. I'm gonna link it because it is genuinely like some of the most delicious shit I've ever like had. It's this stuff: hibiscus tonic water. It's incredibly delicious. It's sadly only in Germany, and I made some of my best best under the table cocktails with this stuff. It's really, really good. It really is.
So the thing about like when my time in security, I never had to come to blows with anybody. But there was the thing is, casinos are shady places, and even security gets in on it. Like,
makes
technically,
sense.
all we're supposed to have is like security's not supposed to have any kind of weaponry or anything. We used to have handcuffs, but they got taken away because you can't fucking secure a location anymore without people getting in trouble. So what happened was when they took away, we used to have batons, we used to have handcuffs, and then casinos have a strict no weapon policy. So I can guarantee you, almost every single guard in the casino has a on them.
Nice.
Like, the moment they took away the baton and the moment they took away the baton and handcuffs, we switched to bladed weaponry that were hidden in our very fancy jackets. Like when I bought a pin it opens like a butterfly knife, and I had it for the sole reason that I had an actual butterfly knife on.
Holy shit.
Yeah. The thing is, in Indiana, fuck shit. Okay. Well, now I've doxed myself. Okay,
Indiana.
Well, living in Indiana, now that I've doxed myself on stream by accident, it's kind of the Wild West when it comes to like weapon laws. Like, you don't need any kind of permit to open carry a handgun.
Makes sense.
You only need a permit to like open carry like a large rifle or to conceal carry a handgun. And knives are fucking just off the table. You can carry a fucking sword around if you want to, as long as you're not disturbing the peace. So the only illegal weapon in illegal kind of knife is a ballistic knife or a spring-loaded one. Mm-hmm. So that's why I comfortably walked around with a pocket with a butterfly knife and a switch. So yeah, that's most of the fucking just edit out of the pod.
It's
But
fine.
yeah, so anyways, thankfully I never had to pull my knife on anybody, but I did have to threaten people on occasion because like they try to get tough, and obviously I didn't let them know I had weapons on me because we're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the gaming commission, which I talked about. They're basically police for casinos.
Mm-hmm.
And they straight up, some of them wear body armor, some of them, and almost every single one of them keeps their gun on their hip when they're like out and about. And so we had a moment with some guy like threatening me. Basically, I told him, I was like, "Hey, if you keep trying to push through, I'm gonna have to fucking detain you." He's like, "Oh, it's like, what are you gonna do? I can kick your ass." And I told him, I was like, "You can, but I have this," and I checked my radio, which is connected directly to the people with guns. So, do you want to keep talking?
Oh god. This
Literally,
also
they can get from their office to where I am in a minute and a half, and it's a huge casino. So
that's so wild to me. Which I'm a European, so for me, guns are very like a non thing. Like the most gun exposure I had was when I was in a hunting club where we got like hunting rifles, but that's it. Which is why when we found out that one of our guests was smuggling firearms, we were kind of fucking scared of our lives. Which didn't make sense because the police had him in custody at that point. So this was like a very boring first day at like February 2017. And just suddenly out of the blue, a bunch of SWAT arrive and just like breach and clear. Which is, frankly, as somebody who's not used to that stuff, fucking terrifying. They walk up to me, they do their little SWAT thing of like making sure that I don't have anything, and just tell me to get the fuck out. I get out of the hotel, and then a few seconds later, our receptionist comes out of the hotel, is like, "Hey, what the fuck's going on? Did you call the police?" And I'm like, "No, not really. I didn't call anyone. Did you call anyone? Because this looks a little bit serious. Do you have any idea what's going on?" So we're sweating bullets, and then after a while, like one SWAT unit comes out and like hands us shock blankets, which we just kind of took half-heartedly because we weren't really shocked. We were just mostly like confused. And then he actually explained what they were there for, which was, as said, they have found somebody smuggling firearms, and they tracked them back to our hotel thanks to just a bunch of undercover dealings. And they didn't tell us in advance because they didn't know if we were connected to the stuff or not.
Yeah, they couldn't tell you, or else it'd tip the guy off, possibly.
Exactly. But they were like, "So is everything okay? Did my boys harm you in any way?" And I'm like, "No, not really. They were just pretty angry." And they were like, "Yeah, scans." And he's basically like, "Well, I think you should get the day off because we're going to have to search every single hotel room now because we won't. We have to make sure that everything's clean." And we're like, "Okay, cool. Well, see you. Should we like call our boss?" And like, "Nah, your boss will call you. We'll have to call your boss." And I'm like, "Okay, cool."
You should go home. Don't worry about what's gonna happen.
So we went home. I was kind of terrified. The receptionist was so kind as to actually drive me back home so I don't have to wait for the train and stuff. We were not allowed back in for a day because they found a bunch of shit in our hotel. And I do mean a bunch of shit. They
Go on.
So the SWAT may have inadvertently funded our renovations entirely by taking apart our old like mattresses and shit, looking for drugs or firearms. And they found both.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, they found a bunch of contraband, enough to basically give the dude a lifetime sentence, if I remember correctly. Which I admit I could be misremembering entirely, but I remember him getting a pretty hefty sentence, like incredibly hefty. So yeah, that's my one exposure to guns that wasn't just seeing a firearm in a Walmart, which fucking wild. I'm
I mean,
gonna
that's
be
probably
honest.
the biggest culture shock to a lot of people when they find the gun aisle.
Yeah, it's wild being in America, not being used to this type of stuff. Going to like the cereal aisles and then just spying out of the back of your eye. Oh yeah, there's guns. Oh god, there's guns.
Maybe it's just the American blood in me, but I'm weirdly I'm just kind of unfazed by guns. Like about 2 weeks ago, genuinely, someone about 30 meters away from my house, tops, was shooting, like firing off a gun, and I was weirdly calm about it.
Yeah,
Like, I've never. That was the first time in my life I've actually heard gunshots, like in person, that I didn't shoot, and I was weirdly like I did the funny thing. It's like I heard it, and it's like, the fuck is that? And I realized, oh wait, that's a gun. So I kind of like got on the floor and laid down, just give some headway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I also nearly shot a guy once. I can totally tell that story.
Holy shit! What?
Oh fuck. Okay, here's a fun story. So to put some context in, I'm the only white sheep of my family.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I was reading the chat. So all of my family is a piece of shit besides me, and even I'm kind of shady to an extent, but I'm not anywhere near as bad. But one of my older sisters, because I have two, she is currently married to a. I gotta ask you, you're familiar with the Ku Klux Klan in history? I don't know how big it is in Europe. Well, I don't think Europeans are going to be like big on it, but
yeah, we don't. I don't think I can. I don't think I can say definitely because I just don't like look at it. But I don't think that the Ku Klux Klan exists in like Germany, but also like.
It's a very American. It's a very American thing, but I don't know.
I know the Ku Klux Klan. I know the Ku Klux Klan.
You know of it.
I know what they are. I know they're racist. Which chat, I would just like to reiterate, in case some idiot will rewatch this VOD and be like, "Hey, what the fuck are you saying? The Ku Klux Klan is racist. It is racist."
But so my sister is married to someone whose father was a prominent member of the Ku Klux Klan. Just that puts it into perspective how, and that's not even the worst thing in my fucking family. So this guy, his son, raised as a neo-Nazi. Now he's a fake priest.
Yikes.
Yeah. Anyways, so he's also a drug addict, and one time when they helped me move, he should have said, "Hey, if a cop stops us, I'm gonna toss you my gun because I'm not supposed to have one." It's like, well, that's a good sign. So,
holy shit!
I was kind of in a rough spot in my life where I was like living with my mother for about a couple months. Who my older sister, who was married to the guy, was also there because they were like getting separated, but they didn't stick to being separated, unfortunately. So this does lead into the story. I was just kind of hanging out, doing my thing, and matter of fact, I actually woke up to it, like a lot of noise outside. So I looked, and her boyfriend's out there, or her husband's out there, and I'm like, well, fuck, now this is my problem because I'm the only one in the house. It's me, my older sister, and her baby son. So this guy ends up getting, he was like at the door trying to get in. And he actually, a lot of American places have a screen door. He actually broke the lock of the screen door. And he ended up cutting the tires of basically all the cars that we had, because we had like 3, because there are like 3 different people living there. And so with all the noise, I went into my mother's bedroom. I grabbed her gun, which is a very big gun, loaded it, cocked it. I thought to myself, wow, this is fucking heavy. I didn't know what caliber it was, but this is going to be a fucking big bullet. And so this guy, I stood there basically back around the corner, like the front door, at least the living room, which leads to the kitchen. So I'm around the corner of the kitchen, just holding this fucking, turned out it was a 50 caliber.
Holy shit.
So I was just sitting there. It's like, if this guy steps into this house, he's dead. He made the smart choice that he never stepped into the house. Because while I don't usually have guns, I don't really do too much with guns. I know how to use them properly. And the fun thing with the 50 caliber is, with that distance between us, if he stepped in that house, he would not have a torso.
Yeah, I don't know much about guns, but I remember the 50 cal is like the really huge rounds that the Desert Eagle is basically like using, right?
It is a very big bullet, yes.
Yes.
Matter of fact, it's if you don't know how to operate a gun, a 50 caliber is more dangerous to you than someone else. Because if you don't have your arms right, or if you don't have the muscle, like the grip or the muscle to like catch the recoil, if you don't know how to get it, this thing will kick back, smack you in the face, and now you're drowning in your own blood.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
So that's why, me being tiny and skinny, if he stepped in the house, the best option would have been literally put it against his stomach, and so that way his body absorbs the recoil. And thankfully, that didn't come to that.
Yep. Sure sounds like it. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was not a fun time for me, no. And that's the story of the time voices nearly killed a dude.
Now on to Jackie nearly kills a dude.
Go on.
So my old workplace had room service, which is pretty typical. We had like an extremely limited room service list, which was basically burger, pizza, salad, I want to say. Something like that. Like 3 items. Not very long, but you could also get any drink, which was basically the intent, like, hey, get a drink, please. Just to your room. Please. Don't come down here. Just be in your room and leave us alone. And drink. So you will sometimes you will get a room service call, and it will be basically an excuse to get some human contact. It will be a very old lady just like trying to get a youngster to listen to her desperately because she hasn't been called in over 6 months by her grandson, and she just wants to feel something again. God damn it. Which also means that sometimes you will walk up to a room service and it will just be this granny who has had a stroke while you prepared your room service. And now you have this either half-alive lady or this corpse that you now have to deal with. I have had to deal with 3 corpses in my time working at Hell Hotel, and let me tell you, after a while it gets really sad. But one time, I got a room service call that was frankly even more taking the piss, and while not saddening, it made me mad as all hell. So this lady calls, asks for a burger as well as like 2 Cokes. I'm like, alright, okay, I can do that. I prepare my little room service. I prepare my little roly poly. I don't know how to call it in English, but it's like you know the trays on wheels, right?
Yeah, we just call it a cart, push cart.
Yeah, like I prepare my little push cart, make it look all nice, have everything ready, and I roll my roll cart into our elevator, go up, and this lady just the door was already open, so I didn't even have to knock. So I like look inside, say room service, just like roll in, and this lady is just like in bed, half dressed, and just obviously looking at me, and she's like, "Oh, thank God, finally, uh, uh, a male waiter." Which, yeah, ouch, but I looked like that back in the day. So she looked at me, and she was, yeah, she wanted to fuck. I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. This lady wanted to fuck somebody, and in particular, she wanted to fuck me. There is an
How old is this lady? Would you say?
There is an issue, though. There is a tiny, tiny issue. It is 2017. I'm 17 years old. She's at least 40, which normally would have been a very lovely MILF status, but sadly, I'm underage, so this is pedophilia. So I try to be the sensible one here. Just like put my stuff onto her table, don't really acknowledge how she's looking, and just like I put the receipt onto her table and just like ask, "Would you please be so kind as to sign for me?" And just kind of look away, and she's like, "Oh, come on. Look at how nice I'm looking. Please, you have to be able to spend some time with little old me. I mean, come on. I'm sure it's just a boring, boring day at work now, isn't it?"
She's sitting there just rubbing her nipples in her fucking underwear.
She's in some lingerie, which, yeah, she's basically doing that. The issue is, it is also kind of a busy day, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't really. But also, I really didn't want to. Because again, I am 17 years old. So I'm like, "Ma'am, please, I just need your signature." And she's like, she's getting angry now. So she gets up and like, she looks at the receipt and just like, she reads it as if she didn't know what she ordered. And then she just like kind of sprints in front of the door and then closes the door and is like, well. I don't think you have provided a very nice service to me now, have you?
So the moment the door closes, that becomes like.
Yeah, this show needs trigger warnings. Yeah, I probably should have mentioned this. I am very sorry. So this all happens, and I am now at the point where I'm allowed to use, once again, not lethal force, but I'm allowed to use force to get out. Because there's this lady that is very much trying to make me stay here, and I don't like it. So I just kind of push her aside, try to open the door, and she just kind of grabs me with her fucking claws, and God, I swear, they were digging into my skin, and I'm like, okay, if you want to do this, we're going to do this now. So the thing about me is that I actually learned martial arts. I know Taekwondo really well. I'm very rusty because I haven't done it in like 3 or 4 years, but I used to be pretty decent at it. I got to like blue belt, which I know isn't that great, but it was still great for little old me. So I tackled this lady, and like, she is really struggling. She is trying her hardest to fucking pin me to the bed, which she can't really do because I'm having her on the floor on a choking grip, and she's like, and at this point I'm starting to realize something, which just makes this encounter even worse. She's enjoying this.
Oh, fun.
Yes. So I swear I'm seeing red at this point, and as I had her in this choking grip, just this little bad part of me went, hey, what if we just tilted her a few degrees and just murdered this gal? And I'm like, can we not? Can we not think about this right now, brain? I am having a very terrible time. This is not fun. And this is very much not helping.
Like I said, the moment the door closes, it became a PvP. All bets are off.
All bets are off because, by God, she wanted this battle. She's getting this battle. So after a while, I just press her shoulder onto the ground with my foot, open the door, and I just close it as soon as possible. And I don't even run. I just walk. I just walk down. So I walk down, go to our receptionist, and say, "Hey, this customer, like, we have to kick her out like ASAP." And she's like, "Well, what happened?" And I say, she ordered room service. I delivered room service. She then closed the door on me. And the receptionist desk had to like think about this for a second and go, oh, okay, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's not good. So, yeah. That's how I nearly killed a woman.
For understandable reasons.
Very understandable, I hope. As said, Hell Hotel is a place where every single crime in human history has happened. It really did. I was not exaggerating. I was not making things up for like the stream, because I don't think I could come up with all of the shit that happened there. Like, if you'd pitch all of the stuff that happened at Hell Hotel to like a writer's room, they'd be like, "Oh, come on. This is a little bit on the nose now, isn't it?" Which is, frankly, just kind of funny to me at this point, which is why I'm talking about this. It's just very funny to me.
I think we're hitting near the 3-hour mark, so I think I might tell like one more significantly bring the mood slightly up before we cut things off.
Yeah. So I saved this for last because I think it's the funniest story I've had. It's also hopefully the one that will lighten up this entire stream from the dark depths that we have brought it to. So last year of me working for Hell Hotel, and I am back as a bartender, and we were having a clown seminar. We had clowns over, which
the clown zone.
It was not pleasant for me. I have chlorophobia. I don't like clowns, and thankfully the people were not wearing clown makeup, so it was manageable. It was manageable for me. But I served all of these people, which frankly, they were hitting zingers. They were playing me for an idiot, but at least they were tipping me very well. They all gave me like 20 euros each. And then, yeah, clowns. Clowns have seminars. I don't know what they're having seminars about, but apparently they have seminars. So after a while, I see like a clown just like go into the toilet, and then just like I'm like, okay, cool, he's on the toilet. Gotta make sure that gotta make sure I don't try and go there now. And I see like 2 more enter. I'm like, okay, sure. And I just watch as more and more clowns enter the toilet as I just like try and whip up cocktails. And I swear, every single time I look, like 2 more clowns enter the toilet, don't come out. 2 more clowns enter the toilet, don't come out. 3 more clowns enter the toilet, don't come out. And our toilet is basically like a big storage closet. It's not very tall. It's not very big. It basically has like a stool and then like a sink, and that's it. So after a while, I'm like, okay, this is a joke. I am being played for a fool again. So I open the door, and the clowns spill out. One of them falls on top of me, and they're like, "Oh God, finally! God, we figured we'd suffocate here. Why did you take so long?" And I'm like, you were going to the toilet, sir. I mean, as much as I was interested, I also wanted to give privacy, and they're like, "Oh God damn it, hospitality again."
So basically, they had a bet on how many they could.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the little anecdote I had there. But I think that's the end of the stream.
Yeah, that was the end of the stream, mostly because, well, apparently my Wi-Fi box just started to fuck up, and I suppose that's that. Oh well, it just be like that. This is the first time, so it's fine.
Yeah, we're back up, so we can say goodnight to everybody.
Well, this has been Miss Jackie Joy once again talking to you on this lovely midnight. Thankfully, now at least in New York, it is midnight. For anyone else, oops. I also don't really care because time zones are really, really messy. Oh my God, the clowns! They got us. Oh yeah, that's why we were disconnected. The clowns got us.
They all got in the fucking internet.
Yep. So yeah, thank you very kindly for joining us this midnight. It's been lovely being your host, and I hope to see you sometime again soon. Until then, this was Miss Jackie Joy, and joined by voices. Have a nice night.